I've been complaining that despite America's going broke, our government won't cut much of anything. It's not just the federal government. Local governments always want to do more. California is particularly bad. You think they'd focus on cutting waste. But no, Los Angeles has passed a law to force professional porn stars to wear condoms while performing. We have a young audience that doesn't like that. Will the city now pay bureaucrats to attend every porn shoot to make sure the law is obeyed? Or maybe they'll just watch the porn. We invited the Los Angeles politicians who supported the law to join us today to defend it. All 9 declined. So, former prosecutor Wendy Murphy stepped forward to explain why the law is needed. Porn actress Caden Cross is here to say the law is a waste of money and violates her freedom. So, let's obviously the audience has a point of view, but let's all be fair here. So, I mean, the politicians, Cadence, that you first are there, they are just trying to protect you.
That's what they say. We don't feel we need the protection. We didn't feel there was a problem. A third party stepped in and created essentially a crisis that wasn't there.
But we do have a sexually transmitted disease problem. I would assume porn stars would be more likely to have some disease.
Porn stars test every 28 to 30 days. We're the most tested sexually active population in the world.
Every 30 days, the movie companies
days.
voluntarily send you out to be tested.
Right, it's mandatory. It's self-regulation. It's not a law, but yeah, the studios say it's mandatory. They will not shoot us without a valid test.
All right, so Prosecutor Murphy, why does the government always have to do more here?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, well, I won't name the guy, but an insider from the industry who was in charge of all this testing has shared with the government officials who support this idea that STDs, that this stuff is rampant. Chlamydia, the risk of HIV/AIDS, this is not that complicated. Women have a right to be protected. Whatever you think about this business, they should not be exposed to a risk of dying. You may not care, but this isn't about you. This is about all the women in the industry.
But it's my body. I can put it in whatever situation I want to put it in.
Parents, your parents should be here listening to class. The point is, you may want to do all sorts of things to your body, and that's fine. I wish you wouldn't hurt yourself. If you want to, that's your business. But just because people would like to put asbestos in their home, they can't. Why? Because they're going to get sick or die. And so the government, which is supposed to protect us with health standards, says you can't do it even if you want to, because this isn't about your freedom. It is about the well-being of humans. And that's the purpose of government, to protect human beings from serious health risks and death. Do any of you care about that?
Well, of course they care about that. Caden, you have another reason why this wouldn't be popular, that you don't want the actors wearing condoms.
When I first heard about this, I went out on the record to say, frankly, condoms for the kind of shooting we do are just plain painful. Condoms
I would
are
also
for
think that
normal sex.
That the viewers, I don't see how this works.
There's a small market that does like condoms, and that need is already being met by studios who shoot condom only. We also, on every single set, are required by law to have condoms available. Any performer can use them if she thinks that she wants to. Most performers choose not to. In fact, a lot of performers won't work for the condom-only company just because it hurts. It's not comfortable.
Yeah, well, dying hurts more.
Wendy, I assume if this is enforced, and I never trust the bureaucrats to enforce these laws, then the industry, 90% of it is in Los Angeles County where this law is. They'll just go someplace else.
Yeah, but that's not a reason to let people become sick and die. I agree with you, it raises that problem. Let's be blunt, okay? People who watch porn, especially guys who are alone, the research tells us the guys who are alone not only want to watch porn where there's no condom being used, they want to watch gonzo porn. We're talking about the most violent of stuff that if you saw it, you would be disgusted, you would be afraid, and you would, in my opinion,
well, then they wouldn't
feel
watch
differently.
It.
Gonzo
but you
means no
need
storyline.
You need to know that the most common type of porn is violent. It is not sexual, it is violent. And on top of that, we're exposing women to the risk that they're going to get very bad diseases that will last a lifetime and die.
Caden, the politicians are trying to be helpful. They want good role models. If porn stars
The
use
thing
condoms?
is, porn's not here. We're not sex education. You don't watch, a Vin Diesel movie to learn how to drive. You don't watch porn to learn about sex and health and all of that. We're a fantasy. We're creating a product for a market. It's not our responsibility to say, oh, you need to use a condom in this circumstance. It's our responsibility to use performers who are legal age and consenting and healthy. We do that. Sex education is up to the parents.
This is not about private activity. This is not about private behavior. It's about a business. And when a business wants to put the profits over the well-being of the people who work for the business, however you feel about porn, when you're making profit, you can't say, we would like to make more profit, even if it means women getting sick and dying. You can't do that in this country.
But who's dying?
We want our government to protect people.
Yeah, I haven't heard about porn
serious
stars
injuries.
dying.
We haven't had a
AIDS.
transmission on set in years.
You haven't had an AIDS epidemic in 2004 that had how many people infected, which is part of why the AIDS
Four in
community...
2004, then they started testing, and nobody since.
This is a person who came out publicly and said, a guy who infected at least 3 women with AIDS in the industry.
In the real world, it's a higher statistic.
I don't care. You should not be okay with 4 dead people when a condom would have saved their lives.
I know them. They're happily married.
They're happily married.
They're
with
alive.
AIDS. They're happy with AIDS. Happy with AIDS. Did you hear that?
They're not dead.
They're happy.
All right, let me just end with
You can be happy
Caden.
and have a disease.
That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. That is...
All right, last point. Caden, what's going to happen? There is this law. I assume most of your fellow actresses and actors are not going to go along with it. What's going to happen?
Well, there's the possibility the industry gets pushed back underground. And there's the possibility we move out of California. There's also, if this is going to chase us around the U.S., then people are going to go overseas for their porn where it's not regulated at all. There are not age requirements. They don't do mandatory testing, and it's even less safe.
You mean a law doesn't just solve the problem?
It does not do that, no.
Okay. Thank you, Caden Cross and Wendy Murphy. Next, America is going broke, but I have a solution. I'll balance a budget. Just have to cut when we return.